Hey guys, it's Abby and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be reacting to a Nintendo video. Now if you've been watching my videos for the last 3 weeks, you know that I'm a big fan of Nintendo stuff, especially Mario. So, let's not waste any time, let's watch some NicoBBQ Top 10 Dumbest Mario Enemies. Let me see if I agree with this list.
When you think about it, Mario met and fought so many enemies during his adventures. Why would anyone have so many enemies?
Mario Land,
that cannot be healthy.
Super Mario Land for the original Game Boy. That didn't age particularly well. I know it's a hot take. It's a good game, but it didn't age very well.
Anyways, a couple of weeks ago, I listed off my top 10 most dangerous enemies, and you guys seem to really enjoy that list, so I'm back today with another list. Except this time, we'll talk about the enemies that are not really dangerous. We're going to be talking about the dumbest of all the dumb dumbs.
I bet the Goombas
Those enemies that you meet and wonder if you can even call them enemies because of how useless and harmless they
actually are. I love his accent, by the way.
You know what's not useless though? Well, clicking.
Nico's accent is pretty awesome. I mean, I love accents as much as the next person, but his accent is up there. It's top tier.
The subscribe button and hitting that bell. Okay, let's just jump into it.
I wonder where he's from.
The very first enemy you encounter in the Super Mario
so it's not high on the
series
list.
is none other than the Goomba. And let's be honest, this dude ain't very smart. Goombas just move left and right, and they hope to touch you at one point. If a Goomba does touch you, well, you get hurt. So there's a tiny bit of danger with those guys. The Micro Goombas, on the other hand, are absolutely worthless. These guys have appeared in a couple of Mario games, and they always act the same. They move toward you, they jump on your body, and then, well, not much happens. These little dudes are meant to slow you down and prevent you from jumping high, and while this all works fine, you can just get rid of
sucky things, like they suck your soul out. You know what I mean.
Of them by jumping a couple of times or by simply doing a spin jump. Very disappointing. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it a couple of times in my videos, but I really find Wet Dry World from Super Mario 64 to be boring. It's one of my least favorite levels in this game because of how weird and unfun it is.
Well, I like
There's
the
not a lot of
city
enemies
part
in the stage, but there is one that appears in it that is pretty dumb. Introducing heaveho, the little robot whose only goal is to get Mario to step on this little pan it's holding, and once that is done, woohoo! He flings you upwards. Wow, how threatening. As they move quite slowly, they're not very difficult to dodge.
This is more dumb than annoying. This isn't dumb. The heaveho isn't dumb. This is just annoying.
Break after a while to recharge their batteries.
It's just annoying.
To be honest, these guys are so dumb that I don't even consider them a threat. In fact, they're actually pretty useful to reach the higher parts of Wet Dry World when the water level is too low. So they're actually helpful? Cringe. I mentioned in a previous video...
I used this song in my latest makeup video, by the way. Well, not my latest, but one of my latest.
That spikes are actually pretty deadly enemies, being able to create and spit big spiky boulders and big spiky bars and throw them at Mario. That was all true, but there is a subspecies of spikes that isn't actually dangerous at all. Appearing in one single level in the new Super Mario Bros. Series, the snow spikes are able to create, spit, and throw snowballs instead of deadly spikes. And let's be honest, if you have the choice of putting an enemy that can throw deadly spikes and an enemy that throws snowballs, well, the snowball throwing one is pretty dumb. In fact, it is so dumb that the snowballs that Spike throw can actually hurt other enemies. This dude's a traitor.
Bye-bye, Goombas.
These guys also appeared in Super Mario Maker 2, but they're still as dumb there as they were in the Nintendo
They
DS
definitely
game.
are, but they don't look like how they did in New Super Mario Bros. DS. So
question mark blocks is super important in the Super Mario franchise. Not only can you get some yucky coins to eventually get some extra Marios, but these blocks also contain
I know you did
all
the top
of the
10 coins video, so
you
you
can
don't
use
really
to
like
defeat
coins.
enemies. Well, what if I told you that there is an enemy that actually disguises himself as a question mark block? You see all of those question mark blocks on screen right now. They have this little animation, but there's one that hasn't. Well, this is because this dude here is actually a blocks hopper. These enemies are not very threatening, as they cannot even move whenever they want. In fact, if you approach one of them, it will just start shaking in fear because it's the one that feels threatened by you. The only
Look
way
at
the
that.
blocks hopper can hurt you is by jumping on your head. But since they can only jump when there's a ah in the background music, well, it's actually super easy to avoid their weak attack. That's pretty dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, that
There's a
kind of
bunch of
sucks.
very scary enemies that live underwater in the Mario
Yeah,
universe. And
especially that
even the
guy.
less scary enemies like bloopers are actually a real pain in the butt to dodge. But I
Yeah,
did
the
manage to find
bloopers,
one
famously known for doing whatever the hell they want.
very dumb enemy that lives down
Cheep
there
cheeps.
with his smarter friends. Introducing the Eep Cheep,
Eep
this yellow
cheep.
version of the Cheep Cheep. How is the Eep Cheep dumber than the Cheep Cheep, you might be asking yourself?
It's a sheep.
Well, here's how the Eep
No,
Cheep works.
figuratively.
It swims slowly towards you, and then when it realizes that you're there, it will move up and down to avoid you. An enemy that actually wants to avoid interacting with you? Now this is what I call a dumb enemy. In fact, can we even call the Eep Cheeps enemies? I just feel like they're pacifist fishes
Yeah, they're
that just want
obstacles
nothing to
more
do with you and they just want
than
to move along,
enemies.
and that is kind of funny.
Yeah. Number 5.
There's a ton of fun
Mario
enemies in
Galaxy!
Super Mario Galaxy, but there's also a couple of very dumb
Oh
ones.
boy.
For this list, I have studied a couple ones and decided to go with one that is actually a total joke for me, and I named the Slurple.
Oh,
The way this guy
I was just talking about this at number 10! Yes!
works is that it waits for Mario to move close to it, and then it jumps on Mario's body. Kinda like the micro Goombas.
Yes!
Once a Slurple clings onto you, the camera will zoom in to help you see the problem. How do you get rid of this crazy, scary, life-threatening
Shake the
problem?
Wiimote!
Well, you shake the Wiimote. That's it. You shake them off, and you'll make them explode, and you'll be safe. Yay! Technically, these guys can hurt you if you just stand there and wait for them to suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
But you'd have to be a total dum-dum
I'm
to get
actually surprised that the Game Grumps couldn't get that in their first playthrough of Mario Galaxy.
killed by a Slurple. You're not a total dum-dum, aren't you?
Face plant.
Remember the blocks hopper that I talked about earlier in the video? Well, what if I told you that there is another dumb fake block enemy? The reason why this next enemy is even higher on the list is because it hides inside of a normal brick block. You know, those blocks you rarely hit for fun. Hear me out, those big question mark blocks are meant to be hit as they might contain a power-up. But the normal bricks, on the other hand, they rarely contain anything useful, so breaking them is not your top priority. That is probably why I didn't even remember that the fake block was a type of enemy in Super Mario 3D Land. Yeah, I'm serious.
I forgot about
It's an
that guy
enemy
too.
that wants you dead. It will only attack you once you get very close to it, so you can totally ignore those enemies for the entire game. How do you defeat it, you might be asking? Well, you break it, just like you would a normal block. Wow, very dumb.
Yep. Wow, we're
You
getting
know,
through
an
this video
enemy
pretty
is
quickly.
dumb when its only use is to allow you to beat a level. Let me explain myself. Super Mario 3D World has a level called Ant Trooper Hill.
Oh
And in this
boy.
stage, there's a bunch of spikes that can kill Mario and his friends instantly. Of course, for some reason, Bowser decided to hire a new type of enemy called the Ant Troopers. Well, those
hence
ants
the name.
basically just move around platforms and on top of those deadly spikes, and you can just jump on the Ant Trooper in order to ride them to safety. Think of the Ant Trooper as a slower, less prettier version of Yoshi. You just use that enemy to beat the
Yeah, but they're
obstacle,
cute, though.
and then you leave him be,
They're
and you
cute.
keep
They're
playing
kind
the
of
game.
cute though.
This is a pretty dumb enemy in my opinion.
And the Ant Troopers are wearing helmets.
You know,
Mario
while we're on the topic of
Galaxy!
dumb enemies that are actually only there to help us out, there's one that comes to my mind when I think about the Super Mario Galaxy series. Remember that Beyblade-looking enemy you had to defeat by doing a spin attack and throw it into the electric fence?
Yeah, that was
Well,
a
these
dumb
guys
boss.
were Tupmen, and they were kinda dumb, eh? The thing is, it was way smarter than its green brother, the Spring Tupman. These dudes are completely harmless, as they can't really hurt you if they touch you, And if you touch them, on the other hand, well, then a spring appears on top of their head, and you can use that spring to bounce to wherever you
that was
want.
so
Come to
awesome.
think of it, this dude is just an improved version of the heaveho
It's like
enemy
the
from
spin
Super
drifts
Mario
in Mario
64. How dumb.
Ba-ba-ba.
Almost every single Mario game has one or more levels that take place in the sky on top of clouds. This is always pretty cool, but hear me out. An enemy that is actually just a cloud. That would be pretty dumb, right? Well, here's my friend Fu, a cloud-like enemy with a big mouth that can actually spit clouds out of it. Are these clouds preventing you from breathing? Are they freezing you to death? No, they don't do anything. These clouds are actually meant to block your view and make platforming a little bit more difficult. But the thing is, they don't. If the blooper ink from Mario Kart doesn't actually make my life any more difficult, do you really think that will do the trick? The dumbest thing about the Foo is that even if you're having a bit of trouble seeing with all of these clouds, well, just shake the Wiimote and the spin jump will get rid of all of them. What a
Typhoons
joke,
are more
dude.
intimidating,
This
to be
enemy
honest.
truly is the dumbest of them all.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for watching this video.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Subscribe to NicoBBQ because he has an awesome channel. And I don't really know what else to say. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to stay updated. Check out Nate Edom. And take care.